Okay, our last speaker of the day is up next. So she is a frequency alchemist and powerful light worker who has the gift of perfect pitch, which allows her to recognize all other frequencies and bring her clients into a balanced state or 0 point existence. What a surprise! Throughout her many lives, she is incarnated as an Arcturian, Andromedan, and a member of the Council of Nine, and uses the frequencies and energies of these past lives in her light work today. Here to release the frequency of fear from our origination and establish a 0 point truth frequency is my dear friend, Cathleena Hailley.
Hey Zane. Yay.
It's wonderful to have you. Thanks for rounding out the day. I do have a couple of things I have to say before you get started.
Sure.
One of which is we are going to go over the 8-hour limit, which means that people on Facebook, it's going to get cut off within the next 30 minutes or so. So if you want to see the whole thing, switch over to YouTube and I will provide a link in the chat for that. The second thing is, after Cathleena is done, then we're going to get all the members of the Higher Self Expo together to have a little goodbye for everyone and an announcement about the next event. So stick around after Cathleena's talk and set of activations, and we'll see you in a few minutes.
Wonderful. Thanks, Zane.
All right. Enjoy.
Thank you. All right, everybody. Well, it's been quite the day. 0 point. What a perfect subject to be talking about. So I think to kind of bring home what I've been hearing today, the ultimate 0 point that I understand is the place just before and just as you are birthed from source into the dark womb. So it's the place where there is no thing and all possibilities. And it's actually the frequency of truth. So being in this divine now moment without judgment, where there's no thing and all possibilities, is way greater than just what we think about, being present and being in the now moment. It's actually the frequency of truth. And it's different from human truth. So, but it is the avenue for you to know human truth, to actually feel it. Because as you know, there's a whole lot of what we call truth that's in humanity. And as has been stated here with a couple of the practitioners that have been here, and what I'll emphasize is that what we are here for in this earth experience is quite literally just the experience. That's all we're here for. The way that I understood it originally is that there's this giant energy we call source, and source knew itself conceptually, the concept of itself, but it did not know itself experientially. So it needed to express out of itself a part of itself to be able to have an experience in a physicality to give that experience to itself. So basically we are this expression or an aspect of source in physical form, here to have an experience for source. So there is no outcome, and it truly is only about the experience. And this human experience is all based on emotions. As a matter of fact, this earth experience, there's what's called resonance frequencies. And so source provided resonance frequencies for this planet for us to experience. And the resonance frequencies are love, truth, beauty, and goodness. And we, in all ranges of these. And so we have actually on this planet the largest range of emotional experiences that any other planet, larger than any other planet in this universe. We have the largest range. And what has happened is there's been a consciousness on the planet, which I'm sure a lot of you probably watching know, that have not wanted humanity to have the full range of emotions, particularly any of the more positive emotions. So we've basically been guided into a very small range of emotions, and this range is based in the frequency of fear. So we've been indoctrinated with fear as our base emotion, and fear is not an authentic emotion. What I mean by that is authentic emotions or frequencies have a wave or a geometry to them that's a rhythm, whereas fear is chaos. It's a chaotic, it bounces all over the place. Why you feel you can't really place it. It's all over the place. So when we have fear as our base emotion, what's happened with humanity is that pretty much all other emotions that we're having are still in the range of fear. If we don't clear fear from the base, it's like, if you build a house and you have the foundation is not good, you can keep building on top of it, but the foundation is still going to be affecting whatever happens that you've built on top of it. So this is the idea. And what most people are experiencing today are still ranges of fear. Even example might be if somebody thinks that they're feeling the emotion of joy, unless they are authentically in this now moment without judgment and actually having a brand new experience that's joyful, they're having an experience that they're calling joy that's still in the range of fear. And the example I started to say is that it could be that, say you don't have money to pay your rent and you're really freaking out or uncomfortable about that. And then you get the money to pay your rent and you feel happy because now you have the money to pay your rent. But that level of feeling happy is really moving away from the fear and uncomfortableness. It's not that you were authentically in the now moment without any judgment or experience and having an authentic experience. So what we have is we have ranges of what I call false frequencies. And one of the major ones is the false mental and masculine frequency. And it's really what drives us continually into the mind. There is a mental masculine frequency, which is basically the design of all things, is the best way to talk about it. It's a geometry that it's part of our creative process that we do as creator beings, but it's sort of, it's a geometry that creates kind of the design of things. But the way that we've been interacting with this mind and this frequency on the planet is narrowing us into this brain and into, again, patterns of fear. So I don't want to get too much into this because I want to get into the activation of it. I will say that I do have a series that's coming up. It's starting February 9th. That is a 5-week series about these activations that you'll see. It's on my website now, also on Facebook. But what I want to do today is I want to take you all into an activation that is going to further establish this 0 point for you. And what we're going to do is I want to take you out past the space-time continuum and past the free will zone to be able to release out of basically your physical body this mental, it's a mental matrix that's been interacting with you. And just talk about that for a second. So this consciousness that has been on the planet for 250,000 years basically has created an actual matrix within our physical brain, and it looks like these pentagonal shaped boxes, little pentagons. And what we've been doing is we've been taking our consciousness, and think about our consciousness that I'm referring to as like our soul. And our consciousness is basically information. It's particles of information. And this giant consciousness that's you, that is information, that is you. We've been, so the design is to download that into this physical brain, and then the physical brain then dialogues to the body all the information that's me. But what we've been doing is we've been taking this giant bit of information and we've been putting it inside the brain in these little boxes, and those boxes don't even communicate with each other. They're based on belief systems and constructs that we've been told, and different limits and limitations in these belief systems that we've been told. And so what's happened is we basically taken us, and we're sitting in these, you can think about it like little rooms, and sometimes I'm in this room and sometimes I'm in that room, or I'm mirrored in different rooms. And so what it's doing is it's been creating this false communication, these false frequencies, all based in fear. So it's a certain frequency has been dialoguing. We've been allowing that to dialogue not only to our head, but down into the structures in the body. So it's like making pathways into the structure of the body. And this is why it's not just your mind that carries all of this information, this stress. It's literally dialoguing into a lot of the body. And again, I don't want to get too detailed with this right now, but what we want to do is, by taking you way out, and particularly taking you outside of the space-time continuum, because that's where we are in this time element that makes it, have a certain level of increments. It's just simply because we are in a time element. But by taking you outside of that, and outside of the free will zone aspect, because I want to disengage you from any of this 3D experience. And as we do that, what can happen, and will happen in a lot, is that we can release a lot of those particles that are related to this mind matrix, particularly that. This is what my focus is, my intent is with you today, okay? So what I'll ask you to do as I'm doing this is I want you to really allow yourself to quiet your mind and to imagine just expanding and releasing the best as you can with grace and ease. There's no effort here, with your breath, just releasing the most dense or the most intense fear dialogue that you are repeating, and just imagine letting it go, okay? And I'm going to help with that a little bit. All right. So let's go into this activation. So what I want you to do is close your eyes and start taking some nice deep breaths. And we want to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. And keep relaxing and letting go. breathing. So I'm going to keep expanding you. Just keep allowing as I continue to expand. I'm just going to continue to expand. And as we expand, just releasing out of mind and the skin, little particles. I want you to imagine just particles leaving. It can look like dirt just leaving the body as we're continuing to expand. Just keep expanding. Expanding, and I'm going to break up this matrix that's deeper within the physical brain. So we're going to expand this geometry. We're going to take this right out of the brain. Just keep breathing as I'm expanding you wider and wider and larger and larger. As we continue to expand this, we're going to take this matrix. We're going to bring it right out of the physical brain, taking a deep breath. Just allowing this to free itself from the constructs of the physical brain, of the illusions of the false matrix, to continue to expand you. Continue to breathe and expand, expand, and expand. Taking you out past space-time continuum, past the free will zone as we're breaking away this matrix now from the physical brain and from all parts of the physical body. Taking a breath, and we're releasing this dialoguing, the false matrix of the limitations. Keep breathing and allowing, and we're expanding further. Just going to keep releasing this false matrix from the legs, particularly from the legs, from the feet, from the body. Take a breath to release this from the root, from the solar plexus, and from the whole sexual organs. Take a breath. Continue to release the limitations, the illusions, the places that we felt stuck and hopeless, and fear, literally fear of moving as we're releasing this, as we continue to expand. Allowing for the light To come into the entire body as we continue to expand, as we free ourselves from this false masculine frequencies, this matrix within the body. It's beautiful. Breathe as we release, expand, and let go. And as we bring forward this most incredible, bright light. This is your creator. The creator of all that is, stepping forward into your field as we continue to expand you and expand you. Allowing your creator to step back into your field and recalibrate the geometries of your soul purpose, of your reason for coming to this earth in this now moment. As we allow this to recalibrate, as we continue to breathe and continue to expand, we allow this to enter completely into the field as that geometry begins to penetrate into the carbon DNA, into the body, recalibrating, remembering, restructuring this carbon DNA to your soul signature, your origination. Taking a breath and simply allowing. Continue to just release out into the field around you those energies and frequencies of distortion, confusion, limits, and keeping the frequencies of love, beauty, goodness, and truth resonating within your being. Beautiful. Take a breath. Now with this reorganization, the body begins to come back in, and as we, basically it's bringing you down in and plugging you completely into the crystalline core of the earth, of Gaia. As you're also plugged into the dark woman's source, the spinning frequencies of divine source and still being recalibrated around you. We spin you into the core. And the beautiful core of Gaia spins around you all of her ascension codes to recalibrate within you the pure ascension process, your divinity in relationship to it. It's being recalibrated at this moment. Taking a breath. Letting all that recalibration occur within your carbon DNA of the remembrance of the entire ascension process as you roll on with it. Bringing you into this now divine 0 point moment. All this recalibrate, reorganize, all in your central channel, all through your entire being, spinning out to all cellular body, integrating all organ structures, central peripheral nervous system, entire bone structures, all recalibrating, integrating. So we now spin into the heart complex as we bring in all of these codes awareness. Divinity 0 point awareness now into the hearts. We're spinning this down into this divine truth frequency. Continue to spin this down. Breathing. Just integrating this into your central channel. Just let this further integrate, calibrate. Even within your physical body, we're balancing the right and the left. Beautiful. Continuing to clear as we're bringing it down into your body. Coming back down into your body. We're going to clear through the solar plexus. We're going to spin through the solar plexus and clear the archetypes, the gender roles, the identification aspects from this mental mind matrix, the false matrix. We're spinning those out now. Counterclockwise clearing. Clearing out the solar plexus. Beautiful. Just allow. So clear a little bit more through the stomach and the digestive organs. Clear through the channel there of the physical body and kind of in between the navel and the solar plexus. I'm going to reconnect that so that we are one with the earth, and we're bringing all this again all into this divine 0 point now moment, that beautiful childlike innocence, joy, excitement, exhilaration, exploration. So I'm going to clear this through the liver as well. I'm going to clear out that confusion from the liver. I'm going to clear a bit more from the liver, taking a breath. It's a lot of the anger and the limits, limitations, just releasing all of that. Great. A little bit more from the liver. Take a breath. With grace and ease, simply allowing. There we go. So we continue to clear and spin. It's clearing a bit more. Take a nice big breath. Settle back in when you're ready to open your eyes. Come back. Still some more clearing, particularly in the liver. I can feel allowing these frequencies. What's happened? I can feel that matrix is dissolved out of the brain, letting that go, and now it's clearing to the channels in the body. This is all of this false masculine geometries that have been within the physical bodies, just clearing, breaking up, clearing, releasing. And there's an energy that's spinning within your core like a crystal that's being plugged into the earth, that's spinning out, and that's also clearing and clearing. It's coring still within the center of the earth and connecting together all the codes, the ascension codes, which in this essence are really your divine lineage, your connection as one with the earth, the truth of what this earth experience is meant to be is being recalibrated and recoding within your carbon DNA at the moment on a mental, energetic layer. We have like a mental field, mental body. And this is what is being recalibrated at the moment. There's also a lot going on in the emotional physical as well. But this was the intent of this. It's going to continue. And so what you want to do from here is, what's happening is we're taking your kind of mental awareness and bringing it into your resonance field instead of narrowing it to the physical brain where that was. And so you kind of want to be aware of a greater kind of knowing and observation of everything, that it's because we are telepathic, we are, we have all of the clairsentience, clairvoyance, all these types of things. That's our normal communication. And when this sort of mental body is in the resonance field, you become aware of that more. And so what I suggest to people is, well, one thing is you definitely want to start taking charge of your mind. You want to be aware of what enters in your mind, and you want to be in charge of that. I say to people, you don't just let somebody come in your home and kick your dog and do whatever. So you don't want to do that with your mind as well. People say they don't have control. You do have control. So that's the first thing. And the you that is taking charge of your mind is you as your consciousness, and that you is interacting this mental part of you in the resonance field. You are much more the observer of all of you. So you just kind of want to practice that, and it's a greater awareness of everything around you than simply kind of driving yourself into your head and trying to figure it out. It's kind of like you just sort of be and experience. And think about that. If we were really small children in the now moment and we didn't have dialoguing, whatever, you can be in that very now moment of curiosity, excitement, and so on. And if we're actually in that, there's a lot going on. And if we didn't have all the dialoguing of what we were told, we'd be much more aware of all of the things that are going on. And this is what we are waking up to. And this is what this activation has triggered in you. It's going to allow you to not be so jammed up in your physical brain and much more in the resonance field. And as you continue to practice this 0 point, this being in the now moment without judgment, particularly self-judgment, is the most important. Because really all of your life experience is right here. There really is no thing outside of you. It's all here. I have the entire experience. I have the awareness about it. I have the emotion about it, whatever it is. It's all right here. So, so the more that we can really just practice, and the other thing about being in this now moment without judgment is there's a balance also going on between the masculine and feminine, which is really this mental masculine and spiritual feminine. So you think about it as simply as there's a balance between, my awareness and my soul or my consciousness having that awareness. That's kind of that balance between the masculine and feminine, and it's literally within, this idea of the twin flame is within. When we have that balance within ourselves, when we're balanced between our own mental frequencies awareness and the feminine spiritual awareness, that's when we're really in that divine 0 point, that now moment. That's the frequency of truth. That's the place of no thing and all possibilities. It's a place of, pure experience, pure emotions. And it's really the name of the game of what we're meant to do here. So, if we take this beautiful day that we've had, and all these amazing people, and you can feel the hearts and the love and of everything that's been brought and everything that we're doing, and we think about this world right now, it's really a pretty amazing time. And I know for a lot of people it may seem very challenging, very difficult, but that's only because we're breaking away from all of this life that we thought, many people had thought was a reality, but we were just simply realizing that it was never anything that we were really fully experiencing. I say, we're just on the precipice of knowing who we are. We are amazing creator beings, and there's way more to life than what we have been shown and what we've created. That's the irony, is we've created all of this, but we can create so much more. We just didn't know it. We've just been limited. We've been guided down pathways that have encouraged us to create very, very small. And so I think it's a really exciting time, and it does all begin with this divine 0 point, this now moment of pure experience. It's in this now moment we can, whatever you can dream, and add an emotion to, is what can be created in your physical reality. 100%. It's the way that things actually come into form. It's quite literal. I mean, we have a thought that comes out of our head as a geometric shape, and we add to it an emotion. That emotion has a frequency, and you think about like the fuel of whatever it is that we're creating, and it goes into a unified field, and there it makes a match and comes out into the world. That's why it's so important to experience what we keep talking about this 0 point. And I was thinking about this earlier, 0 point, well, language doesn't do justice to any of this. And language is part of the false matrix. It actually keeps us limited. And even the idea of 0 point isn't quite right, because it's not really zero. It's sort of all frequencies in their perfect fullness, and all frequencies almost before they've ever started. If you put those two together, that's what we're calling a 0 point. So there isn't really a word for it. But anyway, I feel the blissful energy of the 0 point at the moment of what I feel and being in this now moment, and just being able to participate in helping humanity begin basically this beautiful creation process that we're stepping into. And I will say too that what we just did, this idea of this mental matrix and how it has been affecting the physical body, being able to release this, even in this capacity, which seems relatively quickly, you may be surprised at what will occur within your physical body. You can have things that you've had for a long time in your physical body, and suddenly they disappear. And the reason being is because it's actually much harder to hold something in the body than it is to release it, because it's all about a frequency and an energy, and it's about movement. And that's why we have been guided to create these geometric matrices within the body that are repeated through the generations, and all the different mechanisms on the planet. They've been created to keep these structures, literally all the different structures that we've known, the governmental structures, the educational structures, the medical structures, all of these, they're all part of like a matrix structure that's been put in place to keep basically in the physical body the things in a certain way. So by releasing this matrix out of the body in the way we did, we're releasing a lot more than you may realize. So if you have opportunity, I would revisit this as well. I would do this more than once, because this is definitely a way to allow for many things that you've carried in your physical body that you don't want in your physical body to release. So I think it's a great thing. Mm-hmm. Xane.
I'm so glad that you were our final speaker on this topic. It worked out so perfectly. I think everybody in the chat is like ready to go to sleep now.
I know. Right. Yeah, exactly. I know. It's been a long day. Beautiful day though. Lots of wonderful energy. It's been amazing.
Yeah, it sure has. So, thank you again very much. Your specialty matched exactly with the topic with this. So we had to have you. We had to have you back.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
The next time we have you as well.
Yeah, I look forward to it. Yeah, anytime. Whatever you do, Xane, I'm up for it.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.